people watching this. There's going to be a lot of people plugged in.
I think it'll be thousands of
It'll be a viral, you know.
Okay, can I ask you, you are not connected to Wi-Fi, are you?
I'm on Wi-Fi, yeah.
You are on Wi-Fi?
Yeah. On
Somebody who's not on Wi-Fi.
I'm not.
I'm on both. So I got 4G.
The moths are coming in. The moths are coming in.
Are you all dressed up in their finest?
Broadcasting.
Well, since we're all here, we'll be quickly.
And I have audio.
Please stand by. Oh, look at that.
Okay, that will be only for the presentation.
Okay.
Yeah, just give her a property, you know, also, and I just got a call.
And I'll, kind of back on the info and then let her know all of the. Down here,
Present.
Jeffrey Barnes.
Present.
All is present, yeah.
Very much. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. And ask. Please the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence. Remember those who were murdered last week right here in Broward County, and to their families, extend our heartfelt condolences and sorrow. Thank you. welcome everybody, and today is a first where we are streaming live, not from New York, not from live, thanks to Carlos. Thanks to Carlos and his on our own website live. We tried NBC, but they had some issue called the Olympics or something. And then it's over. We tried, but for some reason we couldn't get the necessary juice. So maybe next time. We'll get some. I heard this.
Carlos News Network.
There you go. So we're using our technology and our fantastic staff officer there, so Carlos, and thank you very much for doing
It's
that.
a pleasure.
We are live on the web. Do you have any guests with us tonight? Okay, the first announcement I would like to make, one is of course the one from our CEO, Lieutenant Eric Long, and also very, very, very proud, I have an announcement to make, that one of our own, Andrea Rutherford, has been appointed, who's getting up, has been appointed the ASC for Sector Miami, that's the Missouri Sector. And she told me, that's fine, Bob, now you can call me ma'am. So welcome to Division 3, as a member, now as a sector coordinator. It's an honor to have you here for a meeting, and I just think that the best always comes from division. Absolutely. Basically, the next order of business is the approval of the minutes. Looking for a motion.
Second.
Second.
Third.
All those in favor from the voting members?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the finance report, Gail could not be here, but she did email to everybody. There being an opening cash balance, $3,845.22. Income was dues, $9,895. Total income was $98.95. Our expenses, meeting expenses were $83.86. The dues, as we explained the last meeting, those are dues that we pay out to the district. The district pays district and national, it's $11,262. The total expenses were $11,345.86. Our ending cash balance is a whopping $2,394.36. And the flotilla dues of $3,000 and $6,078 have not been received yet. Right? Checks in the mail? Yeah. So basically, that's our financial report. I entertain a motion to accept it. Audit.
So moved. Second.
Seconded by Jeff Barnes. Again, Jeff, thank you very much for hosting the meeting. Everybody, Jeff went out and firehouse subs. Very fruit, lots of. Thank you very much. Yeah, make sure that you eat that before you move home. Please.
Have some for a
You have a family.
That's true.
Sorry? The agenda.
I have one with me.
Okay, good. And now we have our station order report.
Evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Again, just wanted to say thank you to everyone that showed up for the appreciation day. I know the crew really enjoyed it. It was great to be able to talk with everyone and see everyone and get everyone out on boat rides. I know I got great feedback from Bob and everyone else. It seems like it was a hit, and we look forward to doing more of those in the future, and having everyone over and continuing to be a part of the family. So thank you for that. Also, I want to say a big thank you to everyone who volunteered last Saturday, for the Boy Scout Jamboree. Over 2,000 kids were there. along with other state, local, Army. I mean, there were tons of other people there also kind of showing off their work, but from what I understand, I wasn't able to make it out, but saw tons of photos, got tons of feedback from the sector. Commander Alexak was there and kind of, his kid was there and kind of initiated getting everyone together for that, and it was a fantastic day. So, you know, lots of interaction with all the kids and other people and things like that. So thank you to everyone who volunteered and made that happen. I really appreciate the working with our guys, and we did get a boat out there. The hand team was going to show up with their boat. They had to go out for some discrepancies that day, so duty called. But you know, the helo and the heating line toss and the life jackets and everyone out there was a great day. So thank you very much. I know patrols are rocking and rolling. We're actually looking to get some help. I believe this weekend or first week of March. That's correct. We have about the OIC college is for all the bosun mates that are looking to advance and become officers in charge of their own stations. They have to go through an OIC review board, and this is like an OIC college the sector's putting on. So we have probably 75% of the classes all from Station Fort Lauderdale. We try to send as many guys as we could, and they're really eager to go and take advantage of it. So luckily you guys are going to be able to come in and stand some, basically do some patrols for us and get underway for us. So we really appreciate that as well. Again, thanks for all the hard work, and it's been a pleasure doing business this month. Great.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Division Command report. First, I invite up for items of board information. First, Jeff, want to give us an update on the challenge point?
Sure. Well, finally got all the elements together from the different unit badges that we have, whether they're from Station Fort Lauderdale or flotillas that have badges already. So I did finally get a hold of a graphic artist that is simply going to be assigned to our badge, and he sent me an email. I told him everything that that should be discussed regarding artwork and ideas and things like that. So right now he's in the process of coming over one or two ideas, send them back to us so they can look through. Go back and forth and make some changes wherever that happens. But all we're waiting for now is just the actual artwork we're doing. But it's been assigned and we're just waiting. Well, actually, I'm kind of surprised that the artist got put into the queue as fast as it did because he had some Coast Guard things to do. And so they got kind of thrown to the side for a second and said, go ahead and start on this. So we're ready to work on currently.
Those of you who don't know, we did look at the budget, was established with the Division Challenge Point. Jeff did such a great job with 438. Challenge Point has headed up as well. Thank you very much. Stood for another recognition. 2018 National Safe Voting Week. For the board's information, what we're looking at doing is basically having every staff officer or team functions operate as one part of safe voting week. So for program visitors, the ESO program visitors, all the FSO program visitors, we'll do a blitz county-wide, area-wide that week. Hopefully that may do 100 or 150 for the business stuff. Same thing with DEs. We talked to George Rosell, who has several lesson exams, vet staff and land. And also we talked about the station about actually going through lesson exams on the water that week in May. Same thing with public education. Talked to Glenn about division-wide, having 1 or 2 PE classes. So that's what we're going to do in operations, basically. We'll have all the rules under control. We'll do lessons. So that's the first time we're doing things hand in hand with the active duty as a division for the AOR. So that will be presented to you at the next meeting for adoption. We do have one staff officer that's not vacant or visiting. Anybody knows of anyone that's interested, being staff officer or QB, website update. Carlos,
Well, he's up.
well, come on up again.
You gotta be in front of the camera. If I get in front of the camera, overwhelmed. One of the problems that we're having right now with the webcast is that the microphone is too far away from the source.
Oh, yeah, so
So-
my wife texted me, told me.
I've been told that
What did she text you for?
the only voice is that is being picked up is mine if I close to the microphone.
Oh, okay.
I had to learn a lot about how national works, even though I work at the national level on the IT side. Finally figure out how to get to the source. The website is approved. Or if you go to the national website, and drill down District 7 down to Division 3, our official URL now is http://d3fl.org. And we are also streaming on stream.d3fl.org. National doesn't like that we do things outside of the network, but there are reasons for that. And eventually they may ask us to come back into the fold. They are developing a new website standard that is different from WOW. WOW is coming to the end of life, and they are going to come up with so we are going to come up
It's
with.
always easier to ask for forgiveness than permission.
I agree with that. Regretfully, the old URL 07003 whatever that is going to go away. We don't have. I will probably redirect it for the moment, but eventually, if there are hard links going into that URL, we will have to disseminate our new address. The good thing is that it's a very short address, and we have to control over emails, and now we can enter the website that our links. The only thing that is missing right now is the PE roster. I have to work on that next week. I have the PE rosters for 38, 36, and obviously 37. But I'm missing from
We have go back to actually all the organization.
Who'd you see after?
Bruno already myself going down to the E's, see that the E's are actually slower than we are, and it's strong. Bruno and I go out together. We do a lot of the old tracks, old TV events.
Well, we have a, open, so
You want to see somebody to the division?
no, I want to get different people off the issues. Okay. So if you want to be considered person,
I'll check with Paul. I know that's what he is. He's architect.
I know better.
There is something I want to say regarding Canada, and that is we have different calendars for each flotilla plus one calendar for the division.
Yeah.
Yes, they all look as one calendar depending on how we set up for the sharing on the web, okay? And depending on how you activate it in your smartphone through Google Calendar. So in my case, for instance, I love you guys, but I'm more interested in division events and events for 3-7. If I need to, let's say, plan an event so it doesn't coincide with 3-8 or 3-2, then I will look at the calendar. But the idea is to put events that are flotilla-based on the proper calendar. And we have been struggling with that. So maybe I was thinking of doing a webinar on how to handle that, because except for a couple of people here, the people on each flotilla have control over all the one calendar. So we, on each calendar, also we add the number of people before the event, so we know even if we don't have activity and not activity. That's it.
So as far as when you're making the division website, because when I was making the instant management website, I was trying to get one of the slots from the WOW site version of it. They told me that they only have specific addresses for divisions, facilas, and districts. Anything after that, you're kind of on your own. Is that still the case?
Absolutely, yeah. There are several technologies that commingle in the servers. In the national servers, you have what's called airs sites. That those are where you needed somebody who knew not only HTML but maybe PHP and JavaScript. It was a little bit up here. That was the protocol for our former division website. They are phasing out airs. So if you don't use, they are not opening new websites. They are only opening new WOW websites. There is a technology right now. We're actually looking at different technologies to see what is going to be implemented. The problem that National has with what we're doing, for instance, is our website is based on WordPress, which now is probably sustaining a third of the websites on the web. And the problem with WordPress is that if you don't do updates constantly, they become vulnerable to attacks. And not that WOW is not vulnerable, but you have a team of people looking at it. If you have another technology and you let it rest there, eventually that will become vulnerable. And that's what they don't want. They don't want our sites hacked. And that will happen. But my commitment is to maintain the website of the public. We don't have hacking.
Okay. Thank you. Division training plan update. John.
All right, member training. I guess the first thing that we're going to be doing this year is the hurricane last year. We kind of lost some of the review classes for the 2017 crew class that we had in place. We had completed most of it, but we kind of lost the review days that we like to have. So that we want to get that back up because I know there's some QBs that are going to be coming up in the near future. I'm sure Mark's going to address that. I'd like to start up another crew class right after that in 2018, if we can do that. Also, this year I want to do something a little differently. I want to introduce our ops courses division-wide. I believe Carlos is actually taking the lead on this with Gary Joseph. They're going to start up an Ops Nav class, and date and I guess place to be determined. Right?
Yes, actually I wanted to ask you if you would be open to a teleconference with the three of us to kind of getting aligned.
Sure. I spoke at great length with Gary yesterday, and
okay.
He said that that was a good suggestion. So yeah, we can do that. So we can secure a place to do it, then we can at least hold that class. Okay. I want to do all of them. I want everybody to have the opportunity to do these special courses. So
I'm sorry, can I ask what that entails, that navigation class?
well, it's one of the specialty courses, but it's actually now it's an elective. It's not one of the 5 required anymore. It's an elective. But the Ops Nav class is a very lengthy class. It's navigation from A to Z. It's very comprehensive. It covers everything from charting all the way to GPS and anything and everything to do with navigation.
So, just throwing an idea out there, if we can maybe host that at station,
Okay.
get some of our newer members involved with that, like especially some of the new non-regs coming in who have never had really a nav background. It helps them with their boat group calls and be able to do it at the station and everyone's kind of involved in the class together. If I can get more information on it, that way I can see if we can work out schedules and all that. But
yes,
be willing to definitely host it at the station if that's open to everybody.
Perfect. Yeah.
I don't know if you're trying to get different spots or not, but
No, we're actually trying to open it up division-wide. Like what Bob wants to do is a great idea. Normally we always get everything in the McVeigh house, which is wonderful for hosting classes. We love the McVeigh house. but it's not centrally located for a lot of people that are on the boat and so on and so forth. So we're actually going to travel around to different classes in different areas, different flotillas are going to host different classes, but they should be great. It's a very lengthy course, very comprehensive course. This is the one that I'm on the national staff at Bob Corbin when I rewrote the manual for this. The new stuff is still being looked at and reviewed. So we're actually going to be teaching this. If you want to teach it this year, it's still going to be under the old AUX nav, but that's okay. We can get through that.
With the 1210.
I'm sorry?
With the 1210.
Yeah, with the TR 1210, yes. So, yeah.
A lot of those charts.
Yes, you do. Where do you have it?
Up in both.
You have it both? Perfect.
Count on you.
Okay, that's perfect. Because that's what we may be rolling back to on the national side of the new one. Originally, they wanted us to change it from the TR 1210 to an actual live chart, which we didn't feel was such a good idea. But that's the way they had us writing. So now I got an email about 3 weeks ago saying, hey, why are we using the live chart, not the TR 1210? So we may be going back to the TR 1210.
But question, we still need to have navigation, I think, for approximate or something, correct?
Yeah, this doesn't cover that. This is more comprehensive. This is above and beyond the navigation that's going to be required for you to be coxswain or USGCaux. This is a lot deeper. Yeah, it's a two-part test. You have part A, which is the computer sit down and you question and answer, multiple guesses, I call it. And then you have the actual charting, where you have to send away for the chart. It comes, you sit with the proctor, and then you do the navigation part. Then you got to mail that, and it has to be checked. So
That's a little bit.
it can be. But, with the right people teaching it, if you have people in your flotillas that are instructor qualified and feel that they can tackle something like this, please have them get a hold of me. And we have to set up a schedule. Because I know, like I said, Carlos is definitely in the other with Gary. Gary Joseph has got a good handle on this. Yes, sir.
How's Ox Common Ox weather coming?
AUXCOM's been approved. I'm sorry, not AUXCOM. AUX weather's been approved.
Okay.
The new AUX weather is wonderful. It was written by a PhD in meteorology, John Hill. I was actually the subject matter expert on that one, and he really did a phenomenal job. The old AUX weather, or those of us that have taken it, I don't even think PhDs, whether I've been flying airplanes for 45 years now. I thought I knew a little bit about weather until I took that. What are they talking about?
What makes that a little run?
Yeah, what makes that a little run? Yeah, but anyway, he really made this a wonderful product. And that's the only one that's been approved. They're trying to work on all the 4 ones, the ones that are required. So I think Tom is next in line, but that's where we stand. My project and Bob Focus is kind of put on the back burner for a little while. So we're going to do that with the station's permission. What I would like to do too is because whenever we go for the operational excellence, it's required that we operate the pump at the station. And for most of us, the only time we see the pump is once a year. If that, if you're coming in as the first time operational excellence, you've never seen the pump. So with the station's permission, I would like to have pump training classes where we can actually go to the station and operate the pump and get people more comfortable with that. Also, along with the AUX staff, I would like to have chart plotting classes where we could actually sit down and just do basic search and rescue patterns, different for coxswain, all, or just even for crew, bring them up to the coxswain level and say, hey, look, here's what we're going to have to do in operational excellence. This is how you want this thing out. Also, Bob Sherman was about a year ago, he did that SAR class, 2 years ago. Most of us, when we go out and we do SAR, practice SAR, we're doing just the big Sierras. Well, there's a lot of other search patterns. There's the creeping lines, the extended square. Most of us don't know that. So I'd like to have a SAR class where we can learn that stuff. Also, we're going to be doing the TCT, the 1 hour, 4 hour. I believe it's going to be on March 3rd. It's going to be a 4 hour TCT. Do we have a location for that yet? March 3rd. 3 6s? 3 6s?
10 a.m. to 1400.
All right, so from 10 a.m. to 1400, the 4 hour TCT on March 3rd, which I believe is a
Saturday.
yeah.
Saturday, March 3rd. Also, one of the league presidents. No,
We
March
need,
3rd.
we need reservations for that to see what kind of number, because our base is being renovated.
Okay.
The big classroom. If they're a small number, we sit in the office, no problem. But if it's a big number, we'll go to a community, either the community center or the municipal services building. We'll have to go off-site for it. So we just need to know if there are people coming from other locations.
So you want the RSVPs going to who then? You want to come to me and then I go to you, or do you want to just go directly to
Jane,
you?
Jane changed it from the 10th to the 3rd, I think it's introduced. But she mentioned, we talked yesterday.
So the RSVPs should be to Jane.
They should go to Jane
All
Miller.
right, she changed it back to the 3rd.
It is
All right,
right.
please go to Jane.
All right, all RSVPs go to Jane. So for the Flotilla commanders and everything else, please, anybody that needs 4-hour TCT, RSVP is coming to Jane.
Is there room for screening and all this?
Yeah, March 3rd is coming around the corner pretty quick.
But she's okay. She thinks
Yeah,
only about
Recommended station, John? What's the station?
No, it's gonna be up in, it's in Boca.
When is the deadline for RSVP?
Yeah, they have about a week, but tomorrow's the deadline.
By Wednesday?
The third, it should be a week before, so we had
Saturday.
That's 2 days.
Monday?
Monday, okay.
Is that time enough to get the word out?
I'll get the word out tonight. Yeah, but it's for people who need it. You don't need it. If you know, if you just did it. For people who want to go. Right, but I'm saying people who are qualified for the third year, not the 5th year. We'll let the people who need it get it.
You're gonna be selected.
Well, yeah, it's really what they want anyway. They don't really want to, they want to get it out to people that need it. They don't want to have something taken over every year.
Sure.
So they'll give the other people a chance.
And then somewhere along the line, a date and time to be announced, be the 1-hour TCTs. I know we just had one, right? And there'll be another one coming up at this 1-hour TCT. This has been a thorn in our side for a long time since we started the mandatory training. A lot of members are either dragging their feet or they're not so computer savvy in order to complete their mandatory training. So we talked about possibly holding classes for that. We haven't kind of designed how we're going to do that yet, but getting a group of new members that are coming in, getting them at, I'm just going to use the McVeigh House because that's my go-to. And say, all right, everybody open their computers, and here we're going to do the mandatory training together. Everybody's going to do it at the same time. I think that would kind of alleviate people from going, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, If you actually give somebody a date and time to be somewhere to do it, they'll show up and they'll do it, and they'll get that out of the way. Along those lines, about 2.5 weeks ago, I received an email saying that, well, there's something new coming out. It's called the New Basic Qual BQ2 course. Not mandatory, that's what I was told, I got the email to prove it, not mandatory, but highly recommended to people that are new members. They said also for those of us that have been around a while, it's not a bad idea for us to take it too. So I said, you know what? Yeah, not a bad idea. 1 week later, it's now mandatory. Mandatory for anyone who applied for membership after February 1st this year. So now, besides the mandatory training, they also have to do this new basic qual, BQ2. Now, I've been busy at work. I haven't done it myself. I am going to do it. You did it?
I'm 4 modules completed. I'm free to go. It is more than an hour per module, no matter what they say.
Yeah.
The test does not match 100% to what I just read.
So I was just part of the course.
I've got 6 of them. But how many?
I completed the.
No, not mandatory.
That also,
It's like that. It's not terribly difficult, but it is like frustrating to handle, especially for a new member coming in.
That's why I think what we want to try to do is we want to try to alleviate all the frustrations possible somebody being a member. You know, we're volunteers. We don't get paid for this. So when a person volunteers, and then you say, oh, by the way, you have to do mandatory training, which is 7 modules. By the way, now you have to do this new BQ2, which is 7 modules, an hour. You're going to say, I'll volunteer at the Boy Scouts. Thank you very much. You know, I don't need it. You know,
that are coming in and say, hey, welcome board, thank you for helping us out, but here we are, we're going to actually sit down, we're going to do this together. So, feedback from you guys as far as this goes, I would love to have it. I was also, I spoke to Lieutenant, I also spoke to Chief Braver. There's certain things that we do that's a little different from what they do. Our manual doesn't exactly match up 100% on a few things. So I asked Chief Braver if I could be the fly on the wall during some of your training that you hold, and he said absolutely that I could. So what I want to try to do is just be the fly on the wall, sit back and just take notes. This way I can pass that along to the instructors and even to our, anyone, what's going on their side that differs from our side, so that we can more mirror image their side, which is more important, okay? Also, my own personal thing, I want to do a Sea Partners training. I said I was going to do that last year. Those of you know I got sick and I couldn't really do much. So this year, now I'm feeling better. I actually want to start getting Sea Partners up and running in this division. So I'd like to do a Sea Partners training, hold it at some venue somewhere, and we've got asked to go back to a lot of schools. When we were at the Joint Boy Scout Camp Reef, man, a lot of parents came over that were school teachers, and they said, my Lord, we really want this curriculum in our school. So a couple of years ago, that's what I did. I went to some schools in Broward County that actually have marine environmental protection as their programs. David Phelps' granddaughter has his first school in Hollywood. That's their 6th grade program. So David Phelps and I went down there. We spent a whole day talking to 7 classes, repeat the same thing over and over again. But it was fun. It was great. So, I want to kind of promote that, get people interested in that. That's kind of been a slow program here in Broward County. So I want to get that going. Anything else that you guys want or think that, hey, maybe we should do this training, maybe we should do this, maybe we should do this. How about holding the rest of that? Just email me. Don't hesitate. I'll run it by Bob and Brett, and we'll see what we can come up with. Because it is. It's all about member training and all different aspects. And it doesn't always have to be about surface ops. It could be anything else that needs. So, you guys got any questions or anything?
John, I have a question about going back to the pump.
Yeah.
We don't have any facility. We don't actually have one.
No.
We don't own the pump.
They own the pump.
How much are the pumps approximately?
The government owns probably $2,306,000.
Good question.
What about on eBay? Can we get it for
I don't know if they're on eBay, I don't know.
Government surplus.
All right. I'm willing to take that forward to our flotilla and other sources and see if we can fund them. It seems like auxiliary ought to have a pump. We've got crew classes coming along with training.
I don't know what you think on that, Mark. I mean,
And it can ultimately stay in one of the facilities.
The problem is
it's a big unit.
it's a big unit, Mario, and it has to stay on the carpet on the facility. I mean, like for marine events, like big events, we try to take one on board, but you need to lay down a big up the carpet so it doesn't scratch the boat. And it's great to use it. Once you train on it, maybe something you can do is a yearly refresher for everybody in the station or twice a year, just bring everybody down. I mean, it'd be great to have one in the bit, but if they're happy, it's not like.
Am I wrong that, I mean, at the station, you're doing like constant maintenance on like you're always making sure that
Once you break it out, you're using it, the maintenance, put it back together, it's a little bit expensive. I mean, it's doable, it's definitely doable, but, I mean, we're more than happy to go and schedule something where, like I said, twice a year, come down and break it out. The guys, our problem is, when we take one off the boat goes to a restrictor, and we have to have them on the boat, and we only have 3 of them, so we kind of play cat and mouse with what you're doing with the pumps. But we always break one out, we use it, so it's getting used, and then we repack it, and after we let it dry, all that kind of stuff. So, the guys are always doing it, it wouldn't be a problem to have it, group down twice a year and do it. I'll find out how much they are, and if that's something you guys want to take on, not a problem.
Just look into the pricing.
Yeah, but either way, more than welcome to come down to the station.
Yeah, because what the station does, COT, and once it's in a big plastic bag and you convert it. So once it's used, everything gets fresh, water washed out. And then, you know, the gas, if we don't use enough, the gas gets up. So it's great to have one for your construction. And it'd be great to have one, you know, going out vessel when there's, you know, at the air show or, you know, the Fort Lauderdale parade or one of our conference are from the station.
My last experience is in California. We have it.
Correct, we always have
Or
one
true class.
everywhere else too. You know, there's always an extra pump that we get on board.
All right, let's look into it.
Yes, this might be more for HR, I'm sure, but Mario has sent something out regarding the REYR status, and I read something else, I think, from some other source regarding if there's a member that's in REYR status because of mandatory training. Mario says that they can wear uniform. The other one I read said they can't even wear uniform until they go back to the training. That was Mario. Oh, you didn't say that? Someone from the division about something like that.
Member of the internet, David Lee, just texted me the Harbor Freight self-sponsor for $300.
Is it the exact cost?
Is that the same pump?
Last David, they want to text me, let me know.
David, text us and let us know. Harbor Freight has the exact cost.
So it's $2 million for the Coast Guard.
Yes, the $300
Carlos, can you adjust the volume a little bit higher?
Sorry?
I'm getting texted by a lot of people saying the volume is a little too low. Volume?
Can't put it to the
People can't hear me?
Decent.
Come on.
So,
In answer to your question, Bob, what's the latest read on that, you know?
what?
About wearing a uniform if you're not.
REYR of mandatory training.
Because it's not happening.
I can tell you what I would do.
Okay,
Anybody who already wired for the infrastructure is not going.
okay. That's what I was.
That was from you.
Okay.
So that was one of our meetings. Anybody's already wired as of the first year, not going to. I mean, we were glad that anybody were picked on and picked on.
Well, that's part of the reason why Bob said that he wanted to have these mandatory training classes. I think it's a great idea. Just so
So everybody gets through it.
everybody gets through it. It's
I mean,
done.
it's crazy to the uniforms right now, you're not allowed.
Yeah. You know, we get everybody in one area, they do it all at one time, and it's over and done with. Are you gonna get a close-up on me now?
Check, 1, 2, 3, 4.
You just scared David Lee. Now the pump is $500. Andrew, you had a question.
Yeah, I have one more training to put on your calendar.
Okay.
We have a CPR class scheduled.
CPR.
CPR in the morning, first aid in the afternoon on March 17th.
March
9 o'clock.
17th?
Starts at 9 o'clock, RSVP to me.
Where is that?
Where is it gonna be?
In Boca.
Boca?
Is that anything professional CPR or just?
Will we, Ryan,
It's,
the date?
March 17th.
There is a fee, but it's
The fee is
probably
for the
around
car,
$10 for each course.
It's for the car only.
Yeah, just for the car.
If it's Coast Guard, you can't charge.
Coast Guard.
If he's teaching for the Coast Guard, which he is part of that group, he cannot charge separate car.
Yeah, it's just the car.
But
And it's from 9 to what?
It's about 9 to 12 or 12:30 for CPR, and then the afternoon goes until 4. You're gonna stay all day, bring a lunch.
So 9 to
That's the
4.
quantity lunch, unless there's substance.
So 2 sessions.
2 seconds.
well, the morning
2
CPR,
seconds.
the afternoon is first day.
You can take one or both.
What time is the first aid start?
I would say 1 o'clock. And also for guests, spouses, family members,
So right after.
but they
basically.
absolutely need RSVP.
Who should the RSVP? Who should the RSVP to?
Me.
Andrea
Andrea
Rutherford?
Rutherford.
Okay, so anybody interested, RSVP to Andrea Rutherford.
Do you have a by date?
Well, he's gonna need, I'd say at least a week to get us enough cards.
He needs enough instructors too.
I would say March 5th,
March 5th?
He's got to have enough instructors
and he has to have instructors
for certain amount of people.
and equipment.
Any more questions or comments or suggestions about the upcoming training for this year? Anything else you guys want to add, or you come up with something, just drop me an email. Those of you at home, the email is Juliet November Alpha Uniform X-ray 38@gmail.com. Okay?
Thank you very much, John. Appreciate that. And Lieutenant Warren just advised me for the D6 pump, official one, $6,000.
There you go. Tell you what, as a fundraiser, how about this? We buy them from David, and we sell them to the Coast Guard for $2,000.
Yeah, there you go.
So, just saying.
And if you want to role play it, it's $100.
Now David Lee will have his report.
That's exactly right. David will definitely have the report there.
I think David just hung up.
Yeah, he did.
Whatever my happy hijack. Okay. Thank you very much, John. Appreciate it. Okay, items for board approval. The spring fellowship, or SOHR. Mario Stagnano has a report on that.
Yes, we've been looking into the Jungle Cruise. We've mentioned that a couple times here. We connected up with them, and they have a group rate. And the group rates are as follows. The regular rate is $54.95 per person. And this normally includes barbecue dinner, the cruise itself, the show on the boat, and there's also one apparently at an island. So they have their own island, I guess, right? So that's where most things happen, at the island, apparently. We have been talking about loosely Saturday, April 28th, as a potential day to have it. Now, in terms of the rates, I mentioned $54.95 is the per person off the street rate. 15 to 49 people, $49.95. And then if you have 50 to 99, you get a buck off from that. It's $48.95.
Wow.
All right. 100 plus people, $46.95. There's also a $7 parking fee. This is at the Bahia Mar Yachting Center, where the park's from. Okay. So everybody can carpool handle that, I guess. I've never taken this thing. I get from my discussion, people seem to be happy with it. On TripAdvisor, it has a 4.5-star rating. But I don't know if that's just the cruise and the dinner, or what's happening.
I've taken it.
Do we think it's going to wind up costing, $100 a couple, basically? Do we think it's worth it?
Night cruise with dinner.
At night cruise with dinner. How would we execute that, right? That Groupon has to be done individually. I guess we could say, all right, we're going to try on this night, go ahead and try and get it. We haven't started a negotiation on this, so that's the thing to ask. Maybe they'll get close.
Sometimes they don't
Yeah.
have many group.
Well, Carolina got it for 38 last month, right? So it was about that rate. But now the other thing is, if we go as a group, they will have like an area for us, apparently. So I don't know what the venue looks like, but they'll try and set us off a little bit. Okay. The other issue that we will have with this is how are we going to enroll people? I talked to Carlos about Eventbrite, using that mechanism, since it'll take credit cards and all that. We can do it, if you look at the $48.95 rate, it is 49 cents per transaction and plus 99 cents per transaction. So it's $1.40 is what it'll cost us, which is probably reasonably cheap on the scheme of processing.
And in Eventbrite, what you can do is that you can add the fees to the price that you have. So you can disclose how much it's costing, and they will know that.
Right. So that's what I would suggest we do. So we put it on Eventbrite. We'll have a mailer from there directly to their emails and all that. We can advertise it that way. People will go on and sign up and all that. And then we will have the money up front. We have to provide 50% deposit on this thing, and then 10 days before the actual date, we have to pay for the whole thing. Okay. So the big question is, do we think it's a reasonable amount of money? I think for a night out, 4 hours, dinner, seems like $100 is not
I've been
outrageous.
on there quite a number of times, I've always used Groupon, we've done it with my flotilla. We know the date that we want to go, we buy it on Groupon, it's gonna be a lot cheaper. And go ahead and we utilize it that day, and all we have, they know that they'll have, let's say 100 people, they'll have a second vote if they need to.
Okay.
I mean, $100, you know, a lot of people may not go. The food is good, the entertainment is decent, but not for $100 a couple. Because then you spend $100 a couple, go to a nice nightclub.
So, when you've done it for your flotilla on Groupon, there's no group mechanism, right? You decide on a date, every individual goes on to Groupon, and that's good, that rate is good for the day only? I'm not sure.
Well, you have X amount of time to utilize it. When you buy it, let's say if I bought it today, it could be 4 months from now.
Okay.
And you all have the date that you want before time. On that Saturday, or Friday evening, usually for Saturday. And we go ahead and make the reservations to them. Okay, I have a Groupon. I have 2 people, no problem. Go down, go for the parking, bring it in, they give me my pass after I show them my Groupon, and that's it. It's already been paid for.
Well, do you have any opinions about that? It's, in my mind, it's a bit complicated for some of our members.
I would
Use
use the
that
same
mechanism.
scenario, if they're like everybody else who handles Groupon. If you call them and tell them, well, they accept the same price for Groupon for the group, they'd rather take the Groupon price from us than pay the commission to Groupon and that price. So I think if you call them and do that, everybody else does Groupon, would rather have to pay the Groupon price, so they don't pay the commission on that, and they accept.
Yeah, part of the discussion that we had over this was that maybe somebody representing us should go down to Jungle Queen and try and negotiate that.
Absolutely, I thought that'd be a next step.
And you know, I know Carolina in our conversation, she told me that she had that rate, but it was only good for last month or whatever it was. So I think it's a great idea, it's a great fellowship event, but let's see if we can actually negotiate that rate. Because like Mark said, then they don't have to kick back the Groupon from their side. So they may be willing to do it. Now, I don't know if they're going to want to guarantee a certain amount, and that's a number that we'll never know. We have no idea who's going to say this is a great idea, or, you know, or I don't want to go, you know, so.
I mean, I think you get enough people, I think we open up the station, people like those.
But yes.
You said that the station's gonna pay for it. That's what it said.
Tomorrow, why don't we do this, why don't you call them, see if you can negotiate a rate similar to the Groupon rate.
Okay.
Ask them if they have to guarantee a minimum, is there any kind of minimum guarantee?
With the Groupon?
Have to do, no, we're talking about having Mario call the gentleman and ask them and see if they can look at Mario negotiate price just for the personal auxiliary.
For the boat park, you know.
For our function, Saturday, April 28th, see what kind of best price you can get.
Okay.
Then we can actually do this, and if everyone, if all the boards in agreement, we can just do that, and then we can report back electronically, and say, okay, we're on. Whether it's come back next month.
What is the actual,
Of your meeting.
maybe we can try that in,
Is this the jump between the group?
maybe I would try that into like, farewell, like, and just, that would be great if we don't try that in.
There you go. It's April 28th.
Yeah, when I don't know if you spoke to Carolina in great detail. When I spoke to Carolina the other day, she was giving me the list of all the weekends that we had stuff going on. And it surprised me to find out that we have an event of some sort going on almost every weekend. So she told me that the 28th was really the only weekend that we had available to do this.
That's what she told me.
Yeah, yeah.
I think Carlos told her, so we're, right? Tell her about the 28th.
Yes.
I tried negotiating with them. The Groupon thing as well, and they did not want to budge. Okay. Whatever that's worth, I'm pretty much convincing with that.
I don't want to have to.
Okay.
Yeah. you make a motion on this?
Sorry?
Make a motion? Okay, I'd like to make a motion that Mario be able to negotiate with Jumbo Cruise Cruise for our February and April 28th cruise, and see if we can get the price matched to everybody's group one.
Second? Second by Bruce. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Marching. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mario.
Appreciate it.
And thank you, Carolina, too, for all your hard work. Carolina's put in a lot of work on this, too.
Mark, you want, I'll put you, seriously, need help or anything, I'll be more happy to do it.
Need a heavy.
Seriously, I'll put you.
All right.
Okay, next item is the 2018 change of watch location and authorizing the division manager to negotiate pricing. I have been in touch with a couple of different venues, and the one that seems to be the best for our needs would be the Colony West Country Club. North of Commercial Boulevard and just west on the road, and basically there's a couple of different pricing opportunities that they have. If we do a plated dinner, like we did last year at Plantation, the choice of 3 entrees, $33 a person. Also, they did say a $500 hall rental, which will give you a 50% discount right off the bat, and a $100 bartender fee. So basically, our fees would be $33 a person, and we have $350 in fees, and then a gratuity of 20% based on the number of people. So just at first blush, we can do a couple of things. One, we can stick with a choice of 3 entrees per person, or if we do a buffet menu and a choice of 2 entrees, the price drops to $29 a person for the buffet. So I know some people like the plated, some people like buffets. There's a combination change of watch and holiday party. So hotels are not doing their own holiday party this year. And by the way, when I visit every hotel, they all said, yep, this is a great idea. So that means we can get people involved. So instead of having 5 different holiday parties, we have 1 change of watch holiday party. Basically, we're looking for authorization, 1, to negotiate pricing, have a contract, and also they of course want a deposit of $500. So this is what's up for discussion right now. Discussion right now. Any discussion on plated or buffet? Or you want to keep it the same? My recommendation would keep it the plated dinner. $33 a plate dinner, and the choices are sea bass with lemon blanc, New York strip with mushroom gourmet, and herb grilled chicken. So that would be the 3 of chicken, fish, and of course we'll make a provision for vegetarian dishes as well. We just say herb blanc. Sorry? We just say herb blanc. Oh, you like that? Sea bass. Lemon or blanc. Herb blanc.
What's the name of the place?
What's the name of the place?
Colony West Country Club.
Oh, Colony West.
Colony West Country Club in Tamarack. We're moving about 12 miles north. Half of our membership does live north of Commercial Boulevard. It is a little west, but it's free parking. And I think it's time for a change from the good folks at Plantation Country Club. We've been there for 3 years. I think it's time for a change, especially if we're not what members are doing. So that's what I got. Now also the other item to consider, the dates you're talking about, December 2nd and December 9th, happens to be the first and last day of Hanukkah. It hasn't been a problem in the past. We have had a change of watch during the holiday of Hanukkah, and it has not been a problem, so I'll let you know. If we wait to the third Sunday, it's December 16th, and then you get 2 closed, I think, and everyone's holiday. Clean up the parade, you can't do it. Yeah, the parade is not.
Yeah, what's the 15th? The 15th is the boat parade,
Yes,
right?
correct. 15th is the boat.
And
regarding, so the 2nd or 9th, I like the 2nd, the first week in December, it was a good night. I don't see any issues that we had on December 2nd. I know that's the first night on, but we would definitely mention that and have a, you know, at the event too. Where's that over?
This is an ignorant question, okay, so you have to forgive me. But is there a day that's more important for those that observe Hanukkah, either the first or the last day?
Not my household, but permanent.
As an Orthodox Jew, Hanukkah would not be a problem. The only thing is, the candles have to be lit from sundown to midnight. So as long as that's on midnight, that's the only restriction, the only observance of Hanukkah for lighting.
Thank you, Herman. Perfect. So December 2nd is okay?
Perfectly normal.
Sorry?
Perfectly normal.
I brought mine for the past 3 years.
That's what I'm saying. Perfectly normal.
Because last year we had the Flotilla 38 holiday party.
Can you put a timer on?
I'm sorry?
Can you put a timer on the candles?
Just around, it just.
I'm saying if they're away, it's like pop up at 11:59. There's an app for it. Alexa will do it.
Yeah, you go like, I got a click.
Okay, good. So we're okay on the date of 2 December. Okay. We're okay on the 3 plated entrees. So I would need is a motion from the board authorizing me to talk to Commonwealth and negotiate the pricing, and also authorize me to spend the $500 deposit to come to the contract. I will do my best to get that, the rest of that, but the hall rental fee waived. They're half the done. I think I think they're half. Hopefully. Make a motion. The motion made by Bruce Freed, Phil Zagatu, seconded by George Ford. We have a motion on the floor. Okay. Any discussion amongst the board members? Hearing none. Any discussion amongst the rest of the members? Okay, call for a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Thank you very much. I will talk with you with Colin West tomorrow, set an appointment for next week, and move on this. Thank you very much for that. Okay, this is probably the most important presentation item for discussion and action at the next meeting. And one of the things that I promised I would do would be a sustainability study. And I asked Gene King from Flotilla 37 to do a division financial sustainability study. It came to my attention that we only had $3,800 in the treasury moving forward. And after looking at our expenses and what we want to do for the division, boy, it's not going to be enough for this year. And more importantly, in years down the road. So I asked Gene if he would do a task force to find out where we've been financially, where are we now financially, and are we sustainable financially? Gene did a lot of work, a lot of research with other divisions. He has a great presentation to give everybody tonight. So I'll give it to you. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
I did hear some chuckles when the finance report was read as far as the remaining balance that the division had. So I think the issue is, and one of the things Bob asked me to do is look at, where the division has gone in the last few years, and maybe what some of the solutions would be to correct some of the problems that you're going to see here on these slides. So go to the first slide, because this one pretty much tells you the story right up front. If you look at this slide, you'll see that this is 10 years of opening balances that the division had in their account. So you go back to 2009, right up through 2013,
the division was actually increasing in terms of their opening balance every year. After 2013, however, you see, suddenly things started to go downhill. And we're now down, this year's opening balance before any expenses were paid out by Gale was $3,845.22. But the point is, if you look at what's happening every year, you're losing over $700 basically every year in terms of opening balance. So the sustainability basically just isn't there. After a few years, you're just going to run out of money, maybe. So this is the crux of the problem here, but I got some other things to show you. So how does this happen and why? Go to the next slide there, if you could, thank you. So if you can see this, one of the problems is declining membership. Okay, so again, back in 2010, we had 336 members, but then we started to go up very nicely. By 2014, we had 383 members. But then after that, again, we start to see this decline. And we declined from 15 to 17 to 18, and this year we only have 342 members. So this is the problem, because the division, the only way the division makes any money is by dues. And the division dues have not changed for over 10 years. And there's still $5 for the division. And of course, if membership goes down, then obviously the amount of money available goes down. So if you look at the declining dues there, you see that, again, because of the membership going down, this year the division is only going to get $1,710. And I will tell you, last year you spent that amount of money on only 2 events. The picnic at Station Fort Lauderdale and the boat show. In between those 2 events, you basically spent about $1,700 on 2 events. Okay, so you know, those were budget busters, if you will. And so the question is, how are we going to correct this problem that you see here? Again, the discretionary spending has gone up and down a little bit, but it is going down. And I think this is a problem that the board has to ask itself, what do you expect the division to do? The division can spend no money if you want a division that doesn't do anything. You just talked about like buying a pump, you know, somebody maybe. Well, you know, things like that cost money. So you have to decide how much you want the division really to be active in terms of supporting the activities that you have. So go to the next slide. So national dues are $24. Wow, a lot of money. We don't know what we get for that. I never figured that one out. $24. District dues are $9. Division dues are $5. Our dues have not gone up for over 10 years. Okay? All the flotillas have increased their dues in the last few years, especially when the national dues and the district dues went up. All the flotillas upped their dues. The division dues basically stayed the same. And this last bullet here on this slide, I guess what I'm asking is, you know, again, what do you expect the division to do? You've talked about the award program that Bob came up with, money for meeting, for food, nice enough for 338 to do it tonight, but, you know, traditionally the division has paid for food at some of these meetings. D-train expenses for the vice commander. Flotilla emergencies. I think we have some problems, and maybe some of the flotillas that maybe Sometimes the division actually has to give money to a flotilla to help them sustain themselves. And also, one of the things that worries me, what would happen if we had like a Hurricane Maria here and had a lot of major damage to our facilities, our buildings, you know, where we actually live. It would probably cost the division some money to sort of get involved in some of those kind of activities. And of course, the boat show there. Go to the next one. So the division is stuck in the place where they can't make any money except really by dues. You know, unless somebody can come up with some other activity. The division doesn't have PE classes. We don't teach anything. We don't charge the public any money for anything. So basically, the dues is it. I did go out to quite a few of the other divisions in District 7 and asked them what their dues were. And nobody had district dues of $5 that I found, which is our district dues. I mean, our division dues. The closest one was Sarasota or Tarpon Springs. Theirs is $6. But of all the divisions I asked, nobody came back with a $5 due. Our two neighbors to the north and to the south, Division 6 charges $10 division dues. And Division 5 up in Palm Beach, they charge $9.50. So basically almost the same, our two neighbors to the north and to the south. And we're charging $5. Okay? And you can see what some of the other divisions charge there around the district. So, a couple of things have happened, and I just want to mention this, and some of the older members will remember this. You know, it used to be if the division was going to do something, the flotillas had to contribute to that event. If we were going to donate money to the station for Christmas, the flotillas would contribute $100 a piece or something like that. And that's the way the division passed the money to the station. It wasn't a division responsibility to pay for these things. It was the flotillas paying, and the division was basically passing the money through. A couple of years we just stopped doing that. I'm not too sure why, and the division just started to pick up the tab for everything. And so that's why we're kind of where we are today, and we're basically running out of money. So maybe somebody can think of some way for the division to make some money. I don't know. You know, Bob said he would like to try to make a few bucks with the change of watch. Well, I've never seen a change of watch make any money. Maybe a few dollars here, a few dollars there, but nothing substantial that's just really going to change the story here. So, what the task force is recommending, and this is of course is something that the board will have to consider, Bob said maybe next month or in the future, the task force is recommending that the division dues go up to $9 per member for 2019. And I believe Bob said that he would maybe send this PowerPoint out to the flotillas, and you can show it to your membership and have a discussion and go from there. But you know, that's sort of the situation in the division. You are not sustainable as it is right now. So something has to change. Yes, sir.
What is you raise it to $9, what does that increase your total to? Instead of the $1,700 that you would get?
Well, we have basically 340 members, so 9 times 340, Bob is going to tell us.
Around 3,000. Or 300 more. 3,000.
3,000 more or 3,000 total?
3,000 more. 3,000 total.
Total.
You increased it by $4. It was 4 times.
Almost double. Almost double.
Yeah, 5 to 9, so, you know, it does take quite an increase, because we only have 340 members. If you increased it by $1, what have you increased? $340. I mean, you know, that's not a whole lot of money in terms of really doing anything with. So, if you really want to increase the sustainability of the division, it's got to be more than, say, $1 or something like that, I think.
Or increase members.
Or increase members, which would be great, but I don't know that anybody's figured out how to do that yet, you know.
Really helping with that test, right?
Yeah, right. You know, really the whole auxiliary, even the national level, is going down in membership every year. And the district is going down, and the divisions are going down, and until someone can figure out how to convince people to volunteer to be members of the auxiliary, I don't see it improving too much.
Gene, you know when the last time the division dues were increased to the $5 mark? When was the last time it was increased?
Over 10 years ago.
10 years ago?
Yeah. When I took over the finance position 10 years ago, actually, this is why I have these figures, because I took over 10 years ago the finance from a guy in 3-2. What was his name? An Italian Mantelli or something. Yeah. But they were $5 in, so I'm not even too sure, you know, when that came about. But they were $5 when I took over 10 years ago.
First I want to thank you, Gene, for a terrific presentation. And I think it enlightened everybody whose eyes here and also people who are looking at it on the screen. It's a critical issue to address. From a historical perspective that you have, what has the division done in anything in years past to raise money in addition to dues? Have there ever been fundraisers or anything?
Nothing. You know, we don't have a store, we don't have a uniform store. I mean, there's some. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying, you know, that used to be one of the things. People would sell hats and shirts and, you know, that kind of stuff. I mean, you can sell T-shirts, I guess, that say, you know, Coast Guard Auxiliary member or something, you know, but, you know, again, most of these activities are really not going to bring in the kind of money that you need to make a difference. You're going to bring in a few bucks here and there, but are you really going to bring in enough money to really make a big difference? And unfortunately, at the division level, it's all about the dues.
As a third point of discussion, I do have to agree with the notion that, you know, it should be the flotillas, because they are really essentially the division, basically putting in for a divisional project type of thing, because the division doesn't hold classes, the division doesn't have a store.
Classes are the ones that sustain each flotilla. That's the money. That's the revenue generator.
But my suggestion, like you were saying earlier, is that if the division wants to do a project that's going to, anything that's going to cost money, is basically feed it to the auxiliary, to the flotilla level, and have the flotillas basically say, yeah, we're in on this. This is how much money we can give you.
Well, for example, the boat show costs almost over $1,000. The boat show costs $1,000. Okay, so if the division thinks the boat show is worth supporting, and they go out to the flotillas and say, okay, every flotilla has to give us $200 to support the boat show, you know, that's what we used to do, and you know, it used to work, and then all of a sudden, again, we just got away from that method of operation, shall we say. And I don't know if the flotillas want to sustain that kind of operation, or they'd rather do something else.
I think for the boat show, when it comes time to configure the boat show, that what we'll do is we'll do a presentation to the board, and then we'll just ask the board to cost between the five flotillas, because the division's not in any financial shape to put that building. So if it costs each flotilla $200, it costs each flotilla $200. Because, now, a flotilla commander, board members, I will email everybody, the PowerPoint presentation, so you can put it back to your memory. What I would like to hear now is what your thoughts are on the small thing is raising duties. What are your thoughts on that right now?
Well, with the recommendation of $9, it's really a $4 increase in dues, where they're already paying $5, right? So, I think that
Your flotilla dues will go up $4.
$4, really, right?
And $4 per year per member.
Right.
So that means that 3A will go from 65 to 69. What do you charge?
We're at 60. We didn't completely raise it the last time, so we...
Or some flotillas might decide to try to, you know, eat part of it, and only go up $2, or, you know, you don't necessarily have to, and most of the flotillas have quite a bit of money, I mean, so...
Well, I suggest that, you know, we consider doing the increase. I don't think that would be outrageous, net $4 per individual. And also start sharing some of the costs that we have for the division. Right. I'm not sure why we stopped. I mean, it's a perfect thing to do.
Neither do I. I don't have the history of how people. Sorry? It's tricky.
So the pain will be that, you know, we haven't budgeted any of this for this year, right? We've already set the budget for the year, so some of these expenses will come along and there's some deficit spending.
Why is the boat show costing us $1,000?
Just for logistics. Just for space, height, freight, table, chairs, power, electricity, just the space.
I thought they were giving us the space.
The space.
I would check that with Glenn, because I thought too, maybe up until this year, but before that, the space was donated, but we paid a $300 to $400 fee for the decorative part of it, the tablecloth, the table, the rug,
the drink, all the other
the
stuff.
electricity.
Yeah, they do electric, that cost.
That's awesome. Space should be. Well, we can decide that. We can decide that when it comes to the boat show, if we want to have a boat show next year. This is what it costs. This is what it costs to go to the show. So,
Gail and Glenn can probably break that down in terms of exactly.
I would check that $1,000 figure, but maybe.
how much did we spend last year, Reggie?
The boat show?
Yeah, the boat show.
Gail told me, she sent me some figures, it was like $1,057 or something. I'd have to go back to my email.
Yeah, there was a change in management, so it could be we had to pay for the space this last year. Do you remember before that?
I think you were about right, like maybe $300 or $400, you know.
I think it did jump last year. I don't have the numbers in front of me. Yes, Carlos.
I have a question, and is, well, obviously this increase will have to come from the part that we charge our members for dues, but collaboration for, let's say, the boat show or other events, can that come from PE revenue?
Yeah, anything except fellowship. Anything except fellowship. Any program can come from.
But again, the PE classes are the bread and butter, the main financial revenue from all the flotillas. That's where the flotillas bring in revenue from that.
And let me tell you, that is not going up.
Oh, it's harder and harder. We have to get the students.
We're competing with free courses online, and people who a big chunk of the public, I think they are going more towards kayaking and canoeing and paddle boarding, and they don't think they are boaters. They don't think themselves as boaters. They think themselves as hikers in the water. And that is a challenge as we have seen through the correspondence with Glenn.
John. Bob, you might, if I just speak out of turn here on this, because I'm not part of the board, but the one thing I can see, since the budget's already set this year, you and I had this discussion in great detail. Mario, I hope you don't mind me speaking out of turn on the HR issue, even though HR falls under my umbrella now.
Depends on what you're going to say.
Well, no, you're doing a wonderful job, you really are. But
Yes,
there's 342 of us, right? If each one of us this year commits to bringing in one member, just one member, we're going to double everything we have. I mean, look, the other thing, most of you guys know my younger son's a member of the auxiliary, even though he's in college now. The one thing that I found out when I was doing the HR for Flotilla 38, the ease of getting high school students, 17-year-old students involved was incredible. Because these kids need service hours. The schools require service hours. And what a great way to get service hours, like I told my son, either because he was a Boy Scout, he was an Eagle Scout, you want to go in a park and pick up newspapers for 2 hours, you get 2 hours, or do you want to go out on a boat 8 hours, you get 8 hours. So we actually got quite a few of Nicholas's high school buddies involved in Flotilla 38. And also, it's a good segue for the active duty side, for the Coast Guard. It gives these kids a taste of what it's like to be part of the Coast Guard. They can get involved in the AIM program to go to the academy. So, yes, it's a lot easier to have retired individuals part of the auxiliary because we got time on our hands. But I think some of our focus should be towards that. I know if I do any presentations at any high schools, Sea Partners presentations, I would definitely bring that up, okay, on your behalf, if that's okay with you, to try to get more people involved. But since the budget's set, other than having, an auction or whatever you want to do, that's the only way we're going to get any money.
Yeah, but this would be great if the dues were to be raised. This would be June and June. Because we need to vote on this next meeting.
But we don't have to wait. All we have to do is every person bring in one person. Just bring in one person.
John, just like I said, every person in this division, 1 hour a day. Yeah. In the 70-29, we have 120,000 hours.
It's not that I was overhearing a conversation. I believe 3-2 has some forms to sign dropping members, right? 13. How many?
I'm not sure.
Well, how many ballpark? 13?
I think there's 10.
10? So there's 10 division members gone right there.
No, well, they're not technically, they're not gone this year.
Well, but they'll be gone next year.
This year.
They'll be gone next year.
They will be gone next year.
So there's 10 more gone right there. You haven't even got started yet.
Well, and the other side is we need more boats. We need people with vessels. We need more facilities. So if we go out and talk to people that have vessels and, try to explain to them.
But I see
Somebody sitting at this table was somebody who I spoke to, right? He'll remain nameless, but his initials are Bob Sherman.
I see an issue with the boats, and you're perfectly right. We're lacking facilities, and that is tremendously important. But I feel a resistance from a big chunk of our membership of looking at the perfect auxiliary, somebody who owns a boat, and if that is not the case, why bother?
No, I'm not saying that.
No, I'm not saying you say that.
Yeah.
But there is a segment among our people, and I felt it in HR, in people working in HR. If they see that the person is a good crew candidate, great. If that is not the case, well, why bother? He's not going to be a.
That's very narrow.
That's very narrow because there's so much that
It's very narrow, but I can tell you that is true because I have people, candidates that I brought, and they are fast track. They are in month and a half. They are members, and some people linger for. Well, how many meetings can you bring somebody into the to come to our meetings, and then nothing happens, and the fingerprints are not done, and things linger, and well, they lose interest. I have maybe
a very big item that I think caused a lot of people from when I was the SOHR for 2 years, and the FSOHR for 2 years, when we had the delay, and that started in getting membership cards. For whatever reason, from district to national, that hurt us. Big time. We went from, and I tracked it, we went from a 75% e-responder rate to a 35% e-responder rate, simply because of that ID card issue and getting from AP to BQ. We can start doing things. And that was very obvious. That's another, I think that's a topic for another meeting. Right now, though, we're talking about keep our division sustainable. What I'm looking for is some type of motion from the board to accept or reject Gene's findings, A. B, and B would be part of the motion too, to bring it to the membership, and then back to this forum next month for a vote.
I'll make that motion, that we accept Gene's recommendation to move the dues up to $9 for each member per year, and that we take it to every one of the flotillas and review it with the members.
Okay, so the motion, I need a second on the motion. Is there a second?
I second.
Second by Carlos. The motion is to accept Gene's report, and recommend a $4 increase per member for division. And you're going to bring it, and you're going to discuss it with your flotillas. You're going to come back next month for a vote. Is that the motion, as I understand it?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that the motion?
That's the motion.
That's the motion. Okay. The motion on the floor. Any discussion particular to that motion? Jeff?
I think the discussion should also include a $10 option. I mean, $9 is great, but in the grand scheme of things, if 6 can do it, why can't 3 do it?
Hearing that, would you want to reconsider your motion and withdraw? Mario?
Yes, I can withdraw it. Somebody else want to make a motion?
I'm just saying I'd like to amend the motion.
Do we have to put a number on it? Do we have to put a number on it right now? Because, for instance, in our flotilla, we recently raised from, I think it was 45 to 65.
We need to have a number to go back to the flotilla. We need to go back to the membership, the division membership, so that they know what we're talking about. Because if we go back to say, well, maybe it's going to be 9 or 10 or 7 or 6. No, but I think we go back to the flotilla and say, this is the one we want to have. So basically, okay, hearing what Jeff said, do you want to amend the motion to $10?
Yes.
Okay, the second in the motion, okay, we have amendment to the motion, raise it from 9 to 10.
Second.
Okay?
Second.
10 and seconded by Carlos. Okay, so now the amended motion is accept the report, recommend a $10 per person increase to the membership. The flotilla commanders will bring it to their members at the next meeting, and then we'll have a vote on that at the March meeting. Okay. New motion on the floor, and discussion amongst the board members. Hearing none. Any discussion from the rest of the division members at the meeting?
I do have one thing I want to bring up real quick. Sure. Because you talked about ID cards. So I just want to let the other flotilla commanders know what I've kind of come up with as far as the ID card. And I did send in a request for one of our members.
Jeff, can you hold off on it for the motion? Then I'll let you talk about.
I thought we were talking about something else.
Okay. I'm sorry. We have a motion with raising the dues $10 per person in division dues from $5 to $10 per person. It's a $5 per member raise per year. We have a discussion amongst the board, any discussion on, yes?
I have a question. What happens if you start losing members again? You gonna raise it up again?
It's not, first of all,
That's the discussion.
hold on, first of all, it's not, you said, are you gonna do this or no?
There's a vision.
No, Bruce, I think my answer to that is, I can't answer that question. Because the methodology that was chosen was to establish a task force, an independent task force, to look at our sustainability. Recommendation was $9 a person. The board, right now, made a motion and a second, and then an amended motion to call, to raise it to $10 per person. We're going to bring it back to the flotilla for discussion, and then a vote at the next meeting. So that question, I can't answer.
But you understand where I'm coming from?
Not really. I think because if it happens, we'll deal with it then. I don't think we can even think about something that could or couldn't happen. I think that's an item for discussion and for flotilla. And then you can get the consensus from your flotilla, and then bring it back to the next board. And that's where I think that discussion needs to happen at each, not only for each board, but every flotilla. These discussions need to happen. It is not an edict. No one is raising dues at this point. What I saw in the first of office was that I don't think we can sustain this course. This ship will sink. We don't have the money. That's why I asked Gene, who I think the most extensive background in the Coast Guard Auxiliary Division finance to do the work that we did. I think that's the best way to do it because I'm not the Wizard of Oz. I'm not that smart, honestly. Jesus. Thank you very much. But I think those discussions do need to take place at each time. Any more discussion from the membership? Hearing none, I'm going to call for a vote. Okay, all those in favor of the motion as amended? Okay, signify by raising your hand and saying aye for the board members only.
Aye.
Aye. George? No. Okay, hold on, we'll do it, okay, let's do a voice vote, please do a voice vote.
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Flotilla member, please.
Yeah.
Aye, 3-6.
3-6 is yes.
3-7 is yes.
3-7 is yes.
3 is yes.
3-8 is yes. Division commander is yes. So,
Voice
okay.
for the noes.
3-2.
2.
3-4.
Ayes have it.
What's the vote?
3-2. Favor.
4-2. 3-8, 3-6, 3-7, and division commander. Vote yes, correct?
Correct.
Ayes have it.
4-2. So the motion passes 4-2. Now, this is a split. I can see we don't have consensus. So again, I think we need to bring it back to the flotillas, each person, the flotillas, we'll bring it back to a vote. Hopefully we'll have all the board members present for the vote of time. Raising dues is not a joyful thing, it's a painful thing. But if this motion does not pass, okay, at the next meeting, then the next meeting is going to be, okay, where do we cut services? Because we will not be able to sustain the division. One answer that I thought of, and I have been in conversations with the district people on this, is to charter a new hotel. That will hopefully go on in November. Right now, we're just in the discussion phase, and I'm in contact with the District Commodore about chartering a new flotilla, specifically in the South Broward area, which would be Dania Beach, Hollywood, Miramar, Emerald Pines, Weston, Cooper City, Southwest Ranches, that area that's not being served and hasn't been served since the dissolution of Flotilla 3-1 in 2015. That was another answer that I was looking at. But we are just in discussions on that. When we get further along in discussions of trying a new hotel, of course, we'll come to the board for their input. Okay. these are ways we need, because folks, if we don't do anything, we're gonna watch the sink. That's the choice I'm not making. But I felt I had a fiduciary responsibility to let everybody in this room know and the ones watching what type of financial shape we're in, and we need to do something to right this ship. So again, I understand. I will make myself available to every flotilla if you want me to be at your next flotilla meeting, be present in that discussion, just to listen. I'll be more than happy to do that. I know Brett will too. Brett and I have had discussions about that as well. So along with bringing it back to flotillas, please keep in mind to let me know, Brett, if you want me or Brett present, okay? And even maybe we can ask Gene to come along as the one who did the study to each flotilla as well. Okay? So that was difficult, but no one ever said this job was going to be easy. Thank you very much on that. Let's take a 5-minute break. We'll come back and we'll start with the Vice Division Commander reports and finish up with staff reports. Have a 5-minute break.
Keep in, boys, keep in.
So the microphone is up there on the,
Okay, everybody, let's get back to the meeting. Okay, everybody, let's get back to the meeting. DivThree, you want to put up the Vice Committee's video report?
Yeah.
You want to get out of here tonight, guys? Yes, thanks.
Jeff.
Okay.
Jeff.
Jeff.
Can you give me a hand switching?
We're going
If you could please come closer, because this was recorded in an airplane with a lot of noise. I did the best to clean up the noise, but digital signals processing has the limits of what it can do.
If he would have used FedEx, he would have been a nice quieter one.
No, he's alive. He's in a box.
We need to switch this camera to the screen.
We get him up there or not, Carlos?
Can I show you the iPad?
All right, well, we can dispense it just that, correct? Wanted everybody to know that basically, first want to thank all the people here, all the staff officers, for their commands, for all the work that they're doing, and for their participation, and that basically,
Okay.
oh, here he goes.
To call it a tremendous video. We've accomplished such incredible things in the first 6 weeks. And I want to reward each and every one of you and take that self-pride and let you know what the incredible job you've done. I have worked relentlessly and often without sleep sometimes to get things accomplished. And I'm very proud for it. As far as the staff officers, most of you have been absolutely incredible getting your reports in on time. There's a lot of pressure from above on how to do these reports, and getting them in timely or appropriate. What I'd like is in the middle of March to have February's reports sent to me, please. That gets incredible things going on. I love Bob and Carlos and Bart for bringing up a lot of the entities. The staff officers ready for accomplish is remarkable in a short period of time. This exponential growth that we have started and building together, and I look forward to seeing through all of your next staff meeting. Call me or contact me at any time, and once again, sorry for for being health and lives in the future.
It's over anyway.
Okay, it's over. Okay. Thank you, Brett.
Okay, he mentioned me, he talked about 6 weeks, and what are the reports?
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
I got it, thank you.
Okay, staff officer reports, I'm only going to go to the people who are here. Okay? Carlos gave us, CS, did you give your report basically?
Yes, I sent it today via email, and well, one of the things I did both for national and for the division is I put together a procedure to be able to access Ops data in a Windows platform using Firefox 51 and Java 6. So I tried in 3 different computers and it worked. Dave was trying in his computer. Were you successful to install it?
I was not,
No?
but I suspect it might be my computer. I mean, it came very close.
It sounds like it was maybe a virus protection or some kind of software in your computer that was preventing it from.
But your instructions flow very nicely. I have no problem following them.
Okay. Okay, good. And I did some training in my flotilla for cybersecurity. I know that that is not very popular, but when we are hit with an event in cybersecurity, we are in dire straits, and many times we don't have a way of recovering from that. So I think that is an important part of what we're doing, because we rely on electronic communications, and that put us at risk. And maybe in the eyes of some people, we are part of the Coast Guard team, and we may be targets. And I would like to that part of what I do, maybe to be able to help people in making them aware of how can they get hit and how to protect themselves.
Thank you very much. Charlie the Farmer gave me a report that 3-star awards are for 2018 are now available. And we'd like to see all 5 flotillas this year participate in the 3-star award. It's not that difficult. It does take some time. Also, she wanted to welcome the new FSO diversity of Flotilla 32 page.
And all the awards, the applications with that stuff, correct? All the facility managers.
Yes.
We didn't really nominate, I don't know where she comes.
Okay, well,
That was not, I didn't do it.
okay.
And neither did Colin, so I'm not sure.
All right. Well, you can call Carolina tomorrow and we'll get that straight. Thank you. Staff Officer for Human Resources, Mario.
Yeah, I'll just summarize. Are we still on it?
Yeah. Yes, you can. We're right there.
Right. So we were still on. The most important thing we did this past month here is did a survey across all the flotillas. We have a series of members that have not received their PSI, some in our flotilla, for example, over 3 years and going. I had talked to Angela Camaro from district. She was interested in helping us out. We put together a list. There was actually 7 people, one of which is we have an explanation for why we haven't gotten their paperwork back. So 6 folks have been well over a year, some as far as 3 years, have not gotten their PSI. Angela forwarded it on to DivThree, and from DivThree it's gone to some of the other folks in the district. I haven't gotten an answer back. I'd asked for a complete trace so we know what's happened here. Almost all of the individuals, they went for about a year and a half, then we get a note back that says, well, everything's out of date, you got to resubmit the application, you got to resubmit the fingerprints, and we've done that. So that has been our most significant issue we've been working on. In terms of other items, e-responder, the district information that we get back from people coming in, we've only gotten 1 over this last month and a half, which is kind of unusual. And he was a no-go. I could not contact him. So, and that happens with e-responders. There's somebody has a wild night and decide to want to join the Coast Guard auxiliary. And then when you call them back, they're all of a sudden don't answer the phone calls.
That is a well.
And your
Thank you.
Thank you.
Then we're training John Arducci, or that was the report?
That was my report, yeah.
Thank you very much. Operations, Mr. Brody. Thank you. Okay, a lot going on. QE missions, a lot of people email me questions when, and QE missions are also at the station, and that is the OTO's orders to us. They want them done QE, all QEs get done at the station, they want the station personnel involved in QE missions. So we're trying to set up a couple dates right now. We're probably looking, I would say, the end of March, John, for the first one. There's a lot of people that need requals. So for the people who need requals, let's look somewhere the last week of March. And I know George, you're up, John. There's several people that have contacted me that need to be requalified.
I think we have 2 or 3.
Right, so we're going to shoot for the last week of March. It's going to have to be on a Saturday. Does that work?
May not.
Saturday, Sunday, we can do it 2 days. Probably have enough people around to do it 2 days. Okay, so what's that? You got a calendar on?
That's the 31st, that's Easter weekend.
So Saturday, we'd have to,
Saturday is the 31st, and then that's Sunday is Easter.
so we'd have to do one on the 31st and then one again following somewhere, not on Sunday. Or people who do it during the week will not have one more.
You aware that, second day of Passover, actually first day of Passover?
Yeah, we're going to do it during early. This is just railroad, it's not night mission, it's straight.
No, I understand.
Yeah, I know.
Friday night, the first night.
Friday night, the first night. What night is the first night of Passover?
It's the 30th, Friday night.
Friday night. So we're gonna do it Saturday, you know, around 10, like we normally do. And then, again, it's a regular QE missions, requals. It's not gonna be for anybody new unless we have enough room. We'll try to get the requals out of the way. And then we'll try and do one again, probably the following week. Does that work, John?
Yeah.
Do 2 weekends back to back. Then we'll do more, but let's try and, because then I don't know if there's any new people, but I know there's enough requal people that need to be done with 3 years in a row. So that's what we're going to shoot for. Okay. Station, as the lieutenant said, needs boats, our boats, the 5th, 6th, and 7th. So George, you do those 3 days good for you? Yep.
April? This is March or April?
This is March.
March.
I might need surgery on March 7th. Yeah, we're good for the 5th and 6th. Should be.
That's Friday, Saturday.
No, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Right. Beginning of March.
You need boats or you need crew?
Both.
It's during the week.
It's
so
Monday,
our
Tuesday, and
costs-
Wednesday. So George will come down, Bob will come down. We should be able to see people.
I need a coxswain.
We need a coxswain.
Yeah, I'm off the whole week too.
John's good, so we got coxswains, we have a crew.
Okay.
So, what? Well, no, you guys, we're gonna need votes for those days. So, anybody who wants to do a stern tow, take the 8-ton boat out of our slip, has my permission to take that down now.
I'll let you know.
Huh?
I'll let you know.
Yeah, we need that slip to that, so we can leave boats.
So we're gonna have, 33, we're only gonna have 133 as well.
Oh, so there's,
We should have them.
okay. All right, so I'll leave my boat station. I'm sure we get in touch with Dave Lee. Dave, if you're still listening, we're gonna need you. Corbin, I know, is home, so Bob can coxswain. So we should have enough crew. I mean, everybody needs to participate in this.
So what are we gonna do?
We're covering SAR, just like we did.
okay.
Just like we did
The old-
for Christmas dinner. We'll try not to send 11 miles on tour again, but, you know. Okay. There was one.
Mark, what's the hours you think for that?
We're covering the day, we're covering the whole day.
Okay, which would be from?
Whatever we get down there till whenever we leave. Because the boats that are going to be there all have radar. We're not going to be in the way the whole time. But like somebody who is going for a crew, like, you want to come down?
Yeah.
Be my guest, come down. We'll do 2-boat training. So you got some people who are in that, John, in that hurricane crew class.
Yeah, we'll have to.
This is a great time for them to come down and do 2-boat.
Yeah, remember the gentleman we had out with us last week? Yeah, he would be good for this too.
Right, so this is a great time for people who are from the hurricane, can I call it, the hurricane crew class, because unfortunately we never finished up, to come down the station and get underway, do a side tow, stern tow, anything else they need. John's going to be there, and probably be able to hit that second QE. Because we're not going to be underway the whole time. We're going to be, sitting, we'll have lunch at the station, and if somebody needs to refresh on charting or something, I mean, everybody who is, really well and instructing will be there to help with the charting and the boat. So it's a good opportunity, and you got to get this out to everybody. It's really a great opportunity for 3 days. Crew class for and cover charting,
And it's all inclusive too. We can do classroom stuff with them to refresh and they get them on boats.
Yeah, whatever. I mean, because we're going to have enough boats here, so if one boat goes, the other one, unless it's something where we send two.
Yeah, after working hours, students will be there, so you can cover the whole day. So.
We're going to cover most of the day, because we're not going to be underway all day. We're going to be underway, come back, be underway, come back, whatever the case is.
So they're going through a class down in Miami, so they'll be gone basically from 7 in the morning till probably 16, 1700 at night.
Yeah, and if we want to hang, and whatever.
We can also break out.
What do you think?
Yeah, so
I'll make it worth your while.
so you have people in crew class,
Yeah, we do only.
but so
most
they
of them
need
are
to
working.
be signed off for that pump. So if anybody wants to come down that day, you let me know.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, we can sign them off for the pump.
Yeah. Most of them are young and working, so.
Okay, well, whenever that has to be done.
Yeah,
we'll do
They
it.
don't want work that's in the way.
Yeah, we're gonna work in everybody's schedule. If they can be there, they can be there.
That's what I'm saying, some of the QE missions we can do during the week, some will do on the weekends, but I want to get them scheduled so we can start getting people done, so we get the new people, because we're limited on vessels, and there's only so many people you can properly QE in a day. Because what's going to happen is, the night quals, and this is just in the beginning phase, night qualifications are going to change. They're rewriting the policy on night quals, which they need to do. The night qual right now is just so basic that it doesn't require us really to stay qualified. You go do one QE mission and you don't do a night operation the whole year, and then all of a sudden you're still good. That has to change. So sector and the station, they're rewriting the night quals similar to what they do, but obviously not as much. So that's going to be coming out probably in the next 60 days.
Yeah, it's a sector initiative that they want to make sure that all the stations are on the same page. Right now, each station does it differently, and I tried to push a little bit that each station is different. We have different AORs, we have different participations through our ops and things like that. So we wanted to keep it a little bit different, where we could still have some local standards, but we also want that sector overhead where they have that main standard that has to be met by all the stations. So they talked about taking night operations out, and I was totally against that because we do have such great participation tonight, and our mission is unique compared to some of the other stations in the AOR. So I think this will be good. Just get a little more basically proficiency at night and keep it up throughout the year. So that should be coming hopefully down the pipeline in the next couple of months.
Right. We're going to start working on that after the station stand team inspection's done. We'll start working on that and hopefully knock that out. As far as the station help, which was discussed at the Appreciation Day, one of the items on the list, which is station tours, Andrew's been kind enough to lead the charge on that, and we have several people doing that right now. One of the other ones is Mr. Carney's doing. He's doing the electronic input on the computer, which is everything that needs to go in computerized filing wise. They're doing input. I'm sure you can use more help on that. Okay. The maintenance stuff, Mario, I know you volunteered, but they want to get past this, you know, helping around down the station. They're just waiting to get past the inspection. The galley's a big thing. Watch standing's a big thing. So we're in, and also those are the main things on the list. And Andrea has the list, and she's aware of it. And I have all the emails from the people, which this station also has. So the XO has that, CO has that, I believe I copied everybody on that. So once they get past the stand team, then we're going to start bringing people in and seeing what. The other thing was the Army, you know, the gun cleaning, which I don't think people realize it's as physical as really it's going to be. So we need to interview and so on down the line. But again, we didn't drop the ball, we just need to wait until after the inspection's done to get going with it. Okay, another thing that's important, and Bob in the back of the room has done a great job with the RSS. These are the new fast find PLDs. They're half the size, they're the size of a cigarette pack. These are the new ones that are issued to the operational facilities right now. Bob has them, George has them, I have them, Eric has them. Okay? Came out to the boats, they were basically out on the water the majority of the time. The old fast line, these anchors, okay? And everybody who's had these on now, they're horrible. Once these expire, the batteries, give them back to, somehow get them back to me, I'll get them back to Bob, or get them to Bob, these are history. There's no more batteries, they're not going to be used anymore. I know a lot of people are sitting on these, so if you get them back.
I thought they went through the help desk. That's what
Not anymore. If you go in the help desk and look under the battery, it says now this is DOI, the Order Issuing Authority is now responsible for batteries for this. And there are no, is that correct, Bob? No more batteries. Right.
What about returning the whole unit? Is that what?
Well, what has to be done with this? It needs to be returned, and then we have to go into NOAA and take it off of whoever it belongs to. So if it's ever activated by accident, it doesn't go to the right person. So the station would have to call NOAA and deactivate it for whoever's name.
Well, there's a gentleman up north here in North Carolina who shipped those things too.
Yeah, that's done.
Is that stopped?
That's done. If you go and help
So that must have stopped last month. I just shipped them last month.
Yeah, if you go on help desk right now, and I just did this because I have one that's expired, it says now, they just must have changed it. The Order Issuing Authority is now responsible for these. And we just checked and they're not getting started. We can get more of these. Right, sir? These are, Bob, I think.
Yeah, we talked about those.
Right, I think Chief Mayor, we're going to get more of these. You know, and if you left one of these, they weigh nothing. So we just got to train people how to use them. The nice part is there's a test button on the front. You don't have to go crazy. Open it up, and you know, there's just a real simple test button right here, which we test between 1 second and 5 minutes after the hour, and you rip the top off. God forbid you ever need it. It just activates.
You guys have the PowerPoint on the training for that?
It's on what was it on? It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube.
Okay.
So we did it. We trained when we first came out to the meeting. We did it. Yeah. We did a quick presentation.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay. So the important thing going forward is the ops seminar is out. It's mandatory by June 1st, I believe. If you don't take the ops seminar by June 1st, you go REYR. Station requires that the ops seminar be done at station with one of the station personnel and myself, because there are station SOPs, there's Sector Miami SOPs, and there are Coast Guard SOPs. So we need to take them all and put them into one. So at the division meeting in Fort Lauderdale, at Station Fort Lauderdale, it's April, is when we're doing the ops seminar, I'm assuming? Yes. Okay. So if anybody cannot, if you have crew people that cannot make that meeting for some reason, which hopefully we get all the crew people in for this, coxswains in for this, and even the new people in crew school, this is mandatory. This cannot be taught at the flotilla level. This has to be done with the gold side person involved. So we're trying to do it that in the event you have people, or we find out enough people don't make it, we'll do another one. We'll pick a place and Chief Graver or myself or the CO will come out and do another one.
So is this different than the one we just took? Like,
TCT is what we just took.
no, but like last year we did the ops mining.
This is totally different this year because the ops has changed from sector and the ops is changing from the station. Station's right now in the middle writing the SOP for us for operations also. So it all has to be tied in together.
Mark, for those at home, the date is April 21st, correct, at the division meeting?
Yes.
Yeah, April 21st is the operations seminar at Station Football. Okay? And now that will be done, and like I said, whether it's this, lieutenant or Chief Graver, or probably both, will be there for this, and we'll go over the sector policy, the station policy, and then we'll cover the auxiliary part. Any questions or anything?
Yeah, Mark, real quick, getting back to the QE missions, for the second session, the second week will be Saturday, April 7th. That's good for you, or is that?
Yeah, well, no, I don't know my April schedule yet. But
Okay.
So right now we're going to do them back, trying to do them back to back.
yeah, it is what it is.
Okay. Questions? By the way, when you get on a vessel, one of the operation vessels, everybody has a SAR vest. Everybody has PFD. When you get on George's boat, or you get on Bob's boat, or you get on Eric's boat, whoever, they have a bag. In the bag are 4 SAR vests, completely loaded with everything that's required by sector and station and the auxiliary. Okay? And inside are one of these, and all the equipment. When you're done your patrol, you take off your SAR vest, you take off your PFD, put it back in the bag, so that the next person has it.
So they're doing the morning inspections.
Right, and these are inspected once a month. We send a report into Bob, or if the station, you're down there and he's there, which is there a lot, they'll be happy to do it. Any other questions? Okay, we're set.
But the rest of staff officers have submitted reports to Brent, and Brent comes back, we'll get them on the website. I know Lizette is busy getting the voice out, she's working on that, and SOPA is very quickly.
In the interest of time. Okay, so we have coming up Thursday, March 1st through the 4th, the Danian Nautical Flea Market. It's the next PA event that's coming up. Everyone in the division received an email from me with a doodle calendar that Carlos was kind enough to put together for me. I do have some open slots Thursday morning, Friday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon. So I sent this out to Brett and asked him to distribute division-wide so that people could see where I need people for this 4-day event. I don't know if Brett was able to do that. Maybe I'll send it to Bob, and Bob, you can send out the division. Sure. Thank you, sir. March 10th is the St. Patrick's Day Parade down in Fort Lauderdale. Uniform is ODUs. I'm hoping to get some really good participation in that. It would be great if everyone could be a PFD also. But if we don't have one for everyone, then no one will wear them. And April 21st is the Family Safety Fest in Coral Springs. It's going to be another big event. And then, of course, moving all the way to May, National Safe Boating Week, May 19th. Like I said, emails will go out on these on a regular basis to let people know. Again, as I always say, participation in these events, it's important that you wear the proper uniform and that your uniform is serviceable and worn properly. I don't want to make a big deal out of that, but it is important. This we were going to do afterwards. I think in the interest of time, Commander, we might want to dispense with this presentation.
Do it next month.
Yeah, well, no, because I've already been engaged with 2 flotillas, 3-7 this month and 3-6 this month, 3-7 next month, 3-2s invited me, so I'll be getting into the individual flotillas.
Okay.
So we don't need to worry about that.
Okay, good, too.
All right, thank you.
Dating since St. Patrick's Day, ODU.
Okay, any other old business?
I just have one thing, Bob, that I wanted to bring up. That I got this email from Paul Greenbaum. He's calling for volunteers for the 41st annual waterway cleanup, which is going to take place Saturday, the 3rd of March, and it's going to be at the Liza Johnson, the former John Hewlett State Park. He said from 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, ODUs is the uniform. Okay.
Very good. Anybody who's interested, contact Paul Greenbaum directly. Any other old business?
Yeah, one thing, gospel before it. Anyway, for flotillas, I've had some contact with Xerox regarding some IDs that have been expired. And so I just came up with the idea of, I asked my whole flotilla just to give me a look at your card. If you're expiring in 2018 or have expired already, give me the information which Xerox gave me, which basically on your card, your day of birth, your eye color, hair color, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't have a picture, a new picture from your fingerprint tag or something like that, that took it for you, I had my, everyone look at their cards, get back to me, and I told my photographer, Jim Kingston, to come with the stuff on the next meeting. We're going to take everyone's photos, and I'm just do a batch insert to Xerox for the whole year. And say, these are the only people that are going to be expired or are expired already, so go to work. But the response I got back from the last person I just submitted was within 12 hours. I got an answer back from a SK down there working, and she was like, yeah, just send me the information, I'll get it taken care of. So it sounds like they're on a good roll right now. So if my suggestion is get the information to them, because if they're doing pretty good now, it's a good chance to get some cards done. So.
Yeah, Jeff, you know that each individual has to be put in individually into the help desk, right? You can't send them in as a batch.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, that's what I mean, that I will send it, I'll have the information, I'll just go put them in for the year and let them have it. So I don't want people to be confused.
So anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
I'm sorry, Jeff, thanks for reminding me. Okay, any other old business? New business? And hearing none, ask for a motion to adjourn.
Me.
So made by everybody. Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Long meeting, but thank you. We covered some very important items. I'll try it right now. All right. Here you go. Long shoulder. My card expires February 28th.